Hey everyone, it's Christian from the Calcio Bros, and I'm here to talk about Matchday 3 in Serie A. Last weekend, I didn't get a chance to do any videos at all to discuss Matchday 2 and as well the international break, but I'm back here to talk about what just happened, and there was a few surprises, so let's get right into that. Starting off this weekend's game, we had Fiorentina-Juve Saturday morning, 9 a.m. Juve were also preparing for their Champions League match this week, but Fiorentina, who have also lost their two opening games, want to show more against their bitter rivals here. Good point here for Fiorentina, but not what Juve wanted. They did lose Douglas Costa early on, and then they did lose Pjanic as well, so two creative players, two big players too that they rely for their team to create chances, score the goals, just to make something happen. And especially again going into their Champions League match against Atletico Madrid, it wasn't good to lose either of those two as well. It also marked the first game for Maurizio Sarri in Serie A after he missed the first two games because he was sick with pneumonia. At least he's feeling better now to be on the bench for the Bianconeri. Fiorentina do grab a valuable point here at home, and yeah, they're still working some kinks out. They're a very young team, very new, a lot of players who have just joined as well, so it may take some time for them to find their rhythm, but I'm sure Montella and Comiso have done enough to strengthen this team and do better than how they've started this season so far. The midday game, we have Napoli-Sampdoria. After a devastating defeat last weekend by Napoli, after they had just come back against Juve, they were looking to bounce back again before their Champions League match as well. They beat Sampdoria here 2-0. Good result for them, and Sampdoria are now also the only team, before even we talk about the other results, but just to say this, they are the only team after 3 rounds to not pick up a single point. That means they have 3 straight defeats, and considering Sampdoria were actually a really great side last year, I don't know what's happening to them this year. Even Quagliarella, really nowhere to be seen right now carrying them. Maybe it's that time, but something needs to be done. Di Francesco really needs to do something about his team. Napoli again bounce back with a victory, and they will look to keep pushing forward after that heartbreaking defeat. The last game we had on Saturday was Inter-Udinese. Inter have been looking great early on this season, and they continue their winning form, being a perfect 3-for-3 so far, winning 1-0 over Udinese, and Udinese were also reduced to 10 men because De Paul was sent off after a slap on Candreva. And okay, yeah, you shouldn't be slapping players, but Candreva did go down a little bit easier there. I guess you have to give the red because it is sort of still violent conduct. It looked more like just a bitch slap, but what can you do? Ref had to give it. Udinese were in 10 men. Inter got the victory, and they will push to even. Then again, they also have their Champions League fixture. They want to make sure they look good going into their first game against Slavia Praha. Moving on to Sunday, we had the 6:30 game, Genoa-Atalanta. Atalanta scoring first, Genoa tying late on, like right before the 90th minute through a Criscito penalty. Then Duvan Zapata scores an absolute stunner in the 95th minute to take it all home for La Dea. After losing at home to Torino, this was a huge result for them, and again, they're also making their debut in the Champions League against Dynamo Zagreb, I believe it was. Maybe a Dynamo team, just that's all I know. Big result for them, heartbreaking for Genoa. Duvan Zapata clearly continuing his form from last year. He's going to be a great goal threat this year, especially partnering with Luis Muriel, so keep an eye out for those two. Genoa want to make sure they pick up points because they don't want to be close to relegation like they were last season. Now we have our 9 a.m. games. We have 3 of them here. Spal, Lazio. Spal coming back to beat Lazio. This was probably one of the few shock results here. I don't think anyone actually expected this, considering Lazio kept most of their players and got a couple additions too. I know Lazio is making his return to the Paolo Mazza. He was probably welcomed with, open arms perhaps, but he couldn't help his new side take the victory here. Petagna again scoring, Kurtic late minute winner. Lazio need to make sure they do better. They can't lose games like these. Next up we have Parma Cagliari. Parma losing at home to Cagliari. Cagliari managing to get a victory here after just narrowly losing to Inter last match day before the international break. And this also condemns Parma to that's their second defeat now in 3 games. So they'll be hoping that, they can come back. Cagliari picking up their first win of the season helps them also regain some form as well. Both these teams need points like these against teams like each other, right? These smaller teams always want to make sure they get some type of result. Cagliari got it here. They got the job done. Parma will make sure they try to step up. They haven't won a game yet even at home because they lost their first game against Juventus opening day of the season. Cagliari making sure they get the result. Last morning game we had Brescia-Bologna. Now this was a 7-goal thriller. Brescia had at one point a 3-1 lead. They get a red card from Daniele De Sena, and Bologna just go rampant. They get all 3 points here after coming back, taking advantage, being a man up. And Mihaljević's side does what they needed to do, gets a result. And honestly, Brescia is putting up a fight. Again, they did win their opening weekend match. They narrowly lost to Milan after putting up a bit of a fight. And now even here. So I think we can expect some stuff from Brescia for sure. They just can't always keep getting red cards and being a man down, right? And then especially with Balotelli still trying to finish off his suspension, he should be back soon and definitely probably make a good partnership with Donnarumma up front. The noon game was Roma-Sassuolo, and Roma were going crazy. They were up 4-0 at half. Mkhitaryan as well scoring on his debut after coming in from good form from the international break with Armenia. He's carrying it here for Roma, but again, the defensive woes here. Yes, the first goal from Domenico Berardi was a stunning free kick as well, but then he goes and scores again. Roma have to make sure they close the opposition down. They've also conceded goals in every one of their games so far, especially with the new goalie as well. They should be playing better. They are playing better, right? But maybe not conceding as much goals. I know they don't have a great, good defense after selling Manolas, but they're working to get it together. There's still some good stuff here from Fonseca, and he can definitely do wonders with the team they have. So Roma are definitely improving, and I feel they will be a much bigger threat down the road. So keep an eye out on their progress. They're still undefeated after tying their first 2 games. They get their victory here, but Sassuolo, we're coming back there, so they ought to watch out. And then also with those 2 goals this weekend, Domenico Berardi is now 5 goals in 2 games, top scorer right now in Serie A. Still early, but damn, 5 goals. Come on. The last game we had on Sunday was Verona-Milan. Verona were down a man early from Stepinski after he cleated Musacchio in the face. It wasn't intentional, but just happened. But Milan struggled here. Even being a man up, they couldn't break down Verona's defense. A lot of the play just looked sloppy. Piontek left alone. Their winning goal came from a penalty shot. Piontek managing also to get his first goal of the season after going goalless his first 2 matches as well. And there's still a lot of work to be done. Gianpaolo really needs to figure out his team. Rebic also making his debut there as well. But they even got a red card. They were lucky too to escape with something. Calabria being sent off late on. Foul of the last man. But there's some doubts on offside from the Verona players that are in that build-up. But what can I say now when the play is done and I guess no one else saw that? They were lucky too. It was just on the edge of the box. Maybe inside. It was just by millimeters. It was that close of the foul. It took a while for the ref to decide what it was, but he gave a free kick. They didn't score. Milan gets the full victory, but especially with the derby coming up, there has to be a lot of work for the Rossoneri to take care of. Now, Monday's game was Torino-Lecce. Now, this was the shock, one of the bigger shocks too of the weekend. Torino losing at home to newly promoted Lecce. Lecce playing, they played well, and they defended well, didn't give Torino a lot to do. Torino, they did have their chances, but they didn't capitalize on anything. A lot of their players weren't on top form. Torino equalized on a penalty after they started off the second half pretty well, but then Lecce managed to find their second goal as well, and then there was even claims for another penalty late in the game, I believe it was like the 94th minute, 95th, and it was just added on time. But Lecce got their first victory of the season. That made a statement. Torino, if they had won, they would have gone on top with Inter as well, but a lot of work Mazzarri has to do. I'm sure he's not even pleased with what he saw from his side, so he probably let them have it after the game. Again, congrats to Liverani's side for pulling that off. And like I said earlier too, with that victory from Lecce, Sampdoria became the only side not to pull up a single point out of 3 games. So now it's only 3 games in. I probably won't do standings until 5 matches in, as that's when I feel like the league will start shaping up a little bit more. But as of now, Sampdoria are dead last, only by a point, but still lots of games still to be played. I'm sure they'll pick up something. So now, the goal of the weekend, I have a couple options here. I'm going with Duvin Zapata's last minute winner and Berardi's bar down free kick. 2 candidates who I felt probably the best goals of the weekend. I know Zapata's is more a open play strike, winning goal. I feel maybe that deserves it more, but I still have to give credit to Mimo Berardi there. That was still a fun strike to get Sassuolo back in the game. Let me know which goal you guys think deserves goal of the weekend, and what do you guys think of these results here? There's definitely some shocks, some poor performances, but teams still got the results they needed, some more than others. So just let me know. So I couldn't really think of a player of the weekend, unfortunately. I don't know really who to pick, but if you guys have someone in mind, be sure to let me know who you guys really thinks to deserve being man of the weekend for Matchday 3. But going on to next weekend's games, again, like I said, no standings just yet. A couple more match days when it starts shaping up a little bit, and then I'll start showing you guys where everyone is at that moment. So going on to round 4 of Serie A. Friday we have one game, 2:45, Cagliari Genoa. Genoa again will look to get something out of this after getting that last minute goal against them from Atalanta, while Cagliari will try to get 2 consecutive victories here against a heartbroken Genoa side. Saturday, we have 3 games, 9 a.m. Udinese, Brescia, Juventus, Verona, and the big game of the weekend, the Derby della Madonnina at 2:45. That's definitely the game to look out for. And the one thing about the Derby too is, no matter what team is in form, even like last season, they went on a 5-game winning streak into the Derby, while Inter were a little rough, just not playing that well, but Inter came away with the victory. It's always about who wants it more, who's hungrier for the victory. This will probably give, if Milan can get a victory here, it's going to give their players confidence, and it'll give Gianpaolo an idea of what he wants from his side, what his side can get. Out of all his players there, it's time to see what he can do in his first Milanese derby. Again, we also did have Juventus Verona. Verona will look to bounce back against Juve. Juve do need to look better if they want to, challenge for another Scudetto. I feel Juve will have too much power for Verona, and then Udinese Brescia should be an entertaining one, but who really knows with these 2 types of sides. Moving on to Sunday, 6:30, Sassuolo Spal, and then in the morning games for 9 a.m., Bologna Roma, Lecce Napoli, Sampdoria Torino. I definitely feel Sampdoria Torino is going to be an entertaining game, knowing those 2 types of sides. Sampdoria will definitely want to take something away from this game, even just a point, just something to get their season started. While Torino will definitely want to bounce back after that shock defeat to Lecce. But Roma, of course, want to continue winning ways, while Lecce against Napoli will want to take the confidence and that high they got from beating Torino to beat Napoli away. They know if they can beat Napoli, then they're capable of better things. Yes, they did get pumped by Inter, but if they can beat Napoli at home, that would be amazing for them. Then the midday game, we have Atalanta Fiorentina. I can't believe I just got that mixed up. 2 sides here wanting to, of course, get victories. Fiorentina looking for their first win after tying Juventus this past weekend, and Atalanta looking to continue their winning ways against this young Fiorentina side. This will definitely be an interesting game as well. Lots of talent for Atalanta, while Fiorentina, again, they have plenty of talent. A lot of young players. They just need that time to gel and come together, and they will definitely be a side to worry about. And then last game for match day 4 is Lazio Parma. Both teams really want to bounce back after losing this past weekend, and I feel Lazio should take this, but Parma, you never know. They really need to pick it up as well. I'm not sure who'll take it, but again, like I said, I feel maybe Lazio will edge out. Maybe a draw will happen. There's a lot to... Sometimes it's really hard to pick these games, so maybe something will happen. Anyways, those are all the games for this upcoming weekend. Let me know which games you guys are looking forward to. You know, I'm definitely looking forward to Milan-Inter. That's definitely the big game of the weekend, but perhaps there's other games. Anyone, you guys are interested as well, let me know. I want to hear what you guys are expecting to see this weekend. What did you guys think of this past weekend as well? Be sure just to comment below, let me know. That's all for today, guys. So be sure to follow us on Twitter, Calcio_bros. Subscribe to our channel for more Calcio content, and don't forget to click the bell to receive notifications when we release our latest videos. We will hear from you guys soon.